Hi everybody, Ben here from Art Less Ordinary. So, I am going to do a cloud pour today. So what I have is, I've got two blues and a white. Now, how these are mixed, so these are marte paints, which is this brand, marte acrylics. So I have phthalo blue, deep cyan, and white. But the white has been mixed with decoart satin enamels in the pure white. So the mixtures that I make is, the two blues are 45 grams paint and 90 grams Australian floetrol, which is this one here, Australian floetrol. So they're 2 to 1. The white is 35 grams paint, 20 grams of the satin enamel, and then 110 grams floetrol. So this is 2 to 1 of the two different paint mixtures. So the 35 and 20 grams mixed is a 55, and then I double that and put 110 of the floetrol in. So that is the mixture I have for these three. Now what I need to do is, I'm going to do this as a dirty pour. So it's going to be a dirty pour, cloud pour type of combination. So I'm going to put these aside, and I forgot to get myself a cup, so I'm going to pause it and go get a cup. Okay, I'm back. I have my cup ready. So I want to layer these. So what I do is, I mixed these about an hour and a half ago, so just give them a little stir. I'll stir them all while I'm here. Alrighty. So we're going to put a bit of white at the bottom. Then I'll go the darker blue, the phthalo blue. And it doesn't matter if they drip. I might go a little bit more white, just a tad. Then a bit of the deep cyan. Then a bit more white. So it's going to be quite cloudy, this one. There's going to be a lot of white. And then I'm just going to keep layering these into the cup. So I'm just pouring them onto the edge. So we will actually get a lot of lighter blues because the white will mix with the blues. I'm hoping we get some dark and some light. So there's quite a lot of cloud paint in this one. So I'm just going to place that down. And just scrape the rest of the cloud paint into the cup. So I only added the satin enamel into the white. If you add it to your colours, it does dilute them a little bit. And there's some more blue. Okay. Now, that cup is full. So I'm going to put that aside. And the rest of the blue, I'm just going to put on the canvas. There's no point wasting it. And I'm just going to spread it out just as a bit of a paint extender. I usually like to just quickly cover the sides just in case the paint doesn't go all the way over, when I know it will. But it doesn't hurt while you got the spare paint just sitting there. Is that corner covered? The corners are the main parts you just always want to cover. And it does not have to be absolutely perfect. It's just, there's extra paint there and it just helps it glide a little bit easier. So I just spread it out a little bit. There we go. And same with this side. Just, I wanted to make sure I had enough paint to cover the to fill that cup. So any extra doesn't hurt to put on the canvas as a paint extender. Just means that the paint flows better. So when you got paint on the canvas, it glides over it instead of rolling over it. And because when it rolls, it ends up covering itself. I'll have to do a video on the difference between rolling and gliding, really. Just so you guys can actually see what the difference is. If you've been painting for a while, you probably will already understand that. But we always get new people that watch videos and they always have questions, like I did when I first started. What does that mean? And that's the fun of teaching, so you can actually show people all different aspects of it. Because we all started somewhere once. None of us woke up an artist. And now all I'm doing is just spreading the paint across. Okay, perfect. And now I've got paint all over me. Okay, now this part is done. So now that our cup is here, which way did I pour it in? I think I poured it in this side. It doesn't hugely make a difference because I'm going to do a dirty pour anyway. So I'm just bending my cup to a bit of a spout. And then as I pour it into the paint, I want to pour it so it hits and goes underneath the other paint, not just glides over the top. You'll see as I do it. So see how the paint is going in and underneath the other paint and then coming back up? That is precisely what I want it to do. Okay. Now we always reach a point where the paint ends up sitting on top, but that's okay. It's always the last bit out of the cup. If you don't want that to happen, you just have to stop it before that part happens. Oh. I'm not very in the middle of my canvas, am I? So I'm just going to tilt my paint a little bit just so it gets a bit more towards the middle. and then let it go and it will come back. Now I better get some gloves on because I'm already getting paint all over me. I'm always going to work with blue hands. So what we want to do is let this settle just for a minute, because as you can see these clouds are starting to form. That's the white satin enamel pushing its way through the colour. And we are also going to get the blowtorch and get rid of some of these bubbles. So when you do a dirty pour, where you pour it down into the canvas, air gets trapped in there and puts air bubbles in your artwork. You want to get that out earlier on. So you can use a heat gun or you can use a blowtorch, whichever you feel more comfortable using. Okay. That's it, that's done that part. So now I'm going to get these cups out of my way. You're best to make sure your area is clean, because if it gets in your way while you're trying to do it, you will notice it just becomes a bit of an issue. So now I just want to move the paint around a little bit, so we're going to go off to a side, come back, go to that side, come back. Try not to go over the corners just yet. Bring my paint down to this area, come back, and then up to this area. Now I'm going to go over the edge now because I've covered most of the canvas. So we're going to go slowly and then quickly tilt it over that corner and come back. Bring your paint back to the middle. Now come down to this edge. Once the paint starts dripping over, go over and back. Now what I'm going to quickly do is I've got paint on my fingers. I'm going to make sure that that corner has paint on it. So now my paint's back down in the middle. I'm going to go down to this bottom corner. Go slow, and then once it looks like it's about to start going over the edges, you kind of just get it over there and come back. And that needs paint. You're best to put that paint on straight away. And now I've only got one corner to go for now, but I'm going to try not to tip off too much of those clouds that are there. So I've got to get close-ish and then come back. And then dab paint on that corner while it's quickly wet and dripping. Now from here you will need to decide if there's any part you want to tip off before more clouds start forming. I don't really have a preference for tipping any of them off. I just want to move this paint around back and forth. Go back to this corner. Come down to this corner, go back to the middle. Always go back to the middle before you change directions. Come down this way, go back. Then I'm going to go all the way to that other corner. Come back down. You just have to watch your shape of your painting, because it can start changing. And if it looks like it's going a funny pattern, mostly this center area, then stop tilting that. Coming back down here. So by stretching the paint like this, you're causing friction, which usually creates a few more of the cloud cells or the cloud effects. I feel like I do have a little bit too much white there, but if I try and get rid of that, I think I'm going to lose too much of the other part of the artwork that I don't want to lose. So I'm just going to move it around still. Maybe see if I can change its shape a little bit by tilting at different angles. Getting close. I might go, no, I don't really want to go over that edge. See how my centerpiece is becoming a little bit different shaped? A little bit more tilting. I'm just trying to create more reactions and see if I get a little bit more cloud effects. And I'm trying to change that big solid white to maybe be a little bit more patterned, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Not without me tilting some off, and I'm not really willing to do that. And I do have to stop soon because I don't want to overstretch and make my cells funny shapes. So for now, I'm going to stop. You just got to try to put it where it will alter a little bit more, but I don't want it to, you got to kind of pick your composition of how you want it to look now. I don't mind that. I think if I try and do too much more, I'm going to change its shape a little bit too much. So for now, I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to take my gloves off. So if you watch my previous video where I dropped a piece of sweat into my painting, I nearly did that tonight. I've been trying to keep my face away from being over the top because I've already dropped 2 or 3 sweat drops, and they landed on the tray, not on the canvas. But it was very, very hot again today. It was about 43 degrees here at my house, so it's warmed up. Now, this will continue to change a little bit as the clouds... Whoa, go away, big fly. No. That's what we call a blowfly, and he's decided to be attracted to my light. Oh, don't know how to stop him. I'm going to give it another quick little torch. You don't need much, just a little bit, just to make sure. I'm doing it just to make sure my bubbles have all popped. Okay, so when I did do that, I did notice one thing that happened. In this white, little bubbles popped and it showed the blue underneath, so now it's a little bit speckled. I'm actually happy because I think it breaks up that solid blue a little bit more. Now what we're going to do is we're going to scrape our edges. If you don't do this, your painting will continue to get pulled over the side and will change a lot. So we do also, when we do that, just make sure that all your sides have got paint all over them, and you don't have any bald patches on your canvas. So do all 4 sides. And another good idea is come back and have a look in a few more minutes, and if one side is dripping off more than the others, then your canvas isn't completely level and you need to prop it up somehow. I use these plastic trays. They're just a lid from a big tub, and I use them because it catches a lot of the paint. And also, if I need to prop up my my canvas on one side, I just get a pop stick or two and put it up on underneath the tray on one side, and it kind of lifts up the whole painting quite evenly. So that's why I do it. So now with this, we're going to pause it and see if any of these cells or clouds develop a little bit more. Sometimes you get more texture in them, or they swell. They can do different things. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So if we leave this for just say 5 to 10 minutes and come back and see if anything has changed. So pausing now. Alright, we have returned. So I think that the clouds have developed a little bit more, not hugely. Down here we can see nice bubble effects, and all the way across here and down there. Then we've got more solid clouds running through this section, and we've got this big cloud in the middle. So sometimes it just depends how the paint is poured, whether you get what type of pattern that you actually get in the middle. This time there doesn't seem to be anything in particular, it just is clouds. But I love the bubble effects. So that's usually caused by when you do the dirty pour. So the white goes in and comes back up in spots. So this may still change a little bit more, but I don't think it will. And by looking at it, it is dripping on this one side over here a little bit more than the other sides. So the other sides aren't dripping at all, which is telling me that the canvas is coming this way a little bit. So I'm going to get a couple of pop sticks. I'm just going to lift my tray and put 2 pop sticks, one under either side, which is just going to prop this end up by about 1 to 2 millimeters, which should just alleviate that dripping. I'll come and check it in another 5 minutes. If it's dripping again, then I will add another pop stick to that, but that should be enough now. So let's come down for a close-up. So this is what I see from my angle. I think it's quite cool. I love the specks and the bubbles that seem to arise through it. The cloud doesn't have any particular pattern at all. It's just a big cloud. But let's come down and have a look close up, and you can see all different effects in it. So see how the different colours come through and they mix with the white, causes all different shades of blue coming around to the top. And see how this big cloud does have colours and specks throughout it, so it's not completely white. More bubbles. They're like bubble cells. That's what I like about it. It's like it's an underwater theme. These are really cool. Then you get ones with different multiple colours throughout them. So this is just a cloud dirty pour. So I hope you guys like this. Try it with different colours, different amounts of the cloud paint. The white will give you all different types of effects. So it's fun to do. You've got so many different styles. You can do it as a jiggle, a ring. I just like doing the straight dirty pour. I find that's more interesting. You don't know what you're going to get. And there. So I hope you guys liked it. So comment, like the video. Sharing the video is fantastic. That helps me out. Heaps of people more people get to see it. And subscribe if you haven't already. And when you do subscribe, just click the bell that says all, and then it will notify you more videos have come up. And I do want to thank all my subscribers and my new ones. I've got 850 now, which is absolutely awesome. I never thought I'd reach that many. So thank you, everybody. Well, this is it. So enjoy your evening, and I will see you for another pour very soon. Okay, bye.